Hey, what is going on everybody, and welcome to Fantasia. For today, we're going to be jumping into another session of Epic 7L today. Got some more RTA clips for you guys. So, I got 3 more matches to share with you all against 2 Emperor players and a Champion player. Unfortunately, this match here, I played on my phone, so I can't really record that. But yeah, jumping into this first match, we're up against a guy who has a pretty interesting roster, actually. So my opponent got first pick and just went for a Karina, and I decided, well, if they're bulking up this hard, I better tank down myself. So instead of going for DJB, who's a little bit squishier, I go for the Yoha and Destina. Now my opponent goes for LRK and Alencia, so I thought, okay, well, this is really risky. But I'm going for a Landy pick, because now I have triple Earth units. As long as my opponent picks double fire down here, I'm kind of screwed. Kind of ran out of time, so it auto-picked Kisei for me, and I was like, okay, well that's kind of fine. Not really, but we'll make do with it. My opponent goes for Zio and Flitica, and then I last pick Amid. So knowing that most Fliticas aren't really that fast, especially if they're on DPS, they're probably like 260, 270 speed, I decided to go to ban on Zio, and I picked the Amid last so I can enable the Kisei, right? She can either enable Kisei or she enables Landy, one of those two. Now, if Kisei made it through draft, I think I would have lost, because there's no way she's killing Alencia, right? And Alencia can DPS down this this Yoha and apply injury, but my opponent ends up banning the Kisei, which I found really odd, but I'll definitely take it. So yeah, I just go for the Amid S2. We get that skill null for the Landy, who is on Guiding Light, so stealth is going to be an option to help protect us as well. And then we pop the S3, because why not? We get the attack buff, we get that crit damage buff, and we just let it rip into our opponents, because look, we hit that S3, right? And LR Crowd gives everyone a barrier. I decide, why not just use Destina and push up the Landy too? What am I going to use the heals for, right? There's no reason to heal anything here, because Landy has skill null, we have Guiding Light, I have a crit damage and attack buff here, let's not waste it. So we pop the S3 again, this time is the second hit. Look at how much damage that does. Karina does proc, and she takes the turn. But it doesn't really matter. Yoha's going to be going next, and we can try to provoke that Flitica to make sure she can't strip anything from the team. So Karina held on to the S3 there, which is okay, I guess. Probably waiting to deal more damage with it. So we provoke the Flitica. She blinds my Yoha, but that's no issue. The LR Crow is not that great into Yoha, because we are able to get our S3 up pretty quickly if he S3s. But there's really no choice that my opponent had. It just had to go for the S3 here. So this is going to break the skill null, but it won't hit me out of stealth because I didn't take any damage. So there you go. My opponent gets a ton of buffs here, right? And look at Landy, he's just waiting to rip another S3 into my opponent. Alencia does take the turn. She actually does an S3 here and just decides to injury down the Yoha. Probably decided that the S3 wouldn't have really mattered. 50% combat readiness is great, but it wouldn't have been enough to cut my team, especially because Landy has that speed buff there. But decided to go ahead and hit the Alencia. I didn't want to get rid of any of the barriers by hitting anyone else, so yeah, Landy takes the turn. She gets a full burst because there's just enough buffs on the other side, and we managed to make it out. Alright, next up, we're going up against Orc Bolg. I believe that's a reference to, what was it, Goblin Slayer, I think it was. But anyway, looking at this team here, my opponent got first pick, and they went spicy. They went for first pick Flitica. But Flitica can't reach Spectre Tenebria with a reset, so we went for her, and then I just kind of casually threw DJB in there, because I knew this guy was going to be playing aggressive. Little did I know they were playing super aggressive, so there goes the MO Elena there for no counterattacks, and out comes the Sid as well. Now, Emma Elena can actually push up herself with Flitica's S2, which can't be countered, so a lot of good synergy going on there. Yeah, Sid as a speed imprint as a damage dealer was a little scary, but I decided, you know what, first 3 units, we can go for Sage Ball. And with Sage Ball, I thought, I don't really know what to do at this point into these top 3 units, so I just went for Aola. In case Flitica went for an S2, we can at least get skill null for everybody, so that the follow-up AoE or the follow-up Sid or whatever won't be just deleting my entire team. I think a good unit here would also have been Elena, but I held off on that. My opponent went for Peyra and for a Samurai Syria, so I thought, yeah, this is definitely an Ed game. Just slam him there. I knew he was going to get banned, so because he was going to get banned, I had to ban the Caesarea. Otherwise, my DJB would have gotten bombed and stunned, because Caesarea has a ton of effectiveness. So now we just jump into this match and see how it plays out. My opponent's Peyra goes first, because Flitica's base speed is nowhere near as high. So, yeah, the debuffs are coming out, but DJB gets to, you know, stay squeaky clean. Elena gets to push up, but DJB and Sage Ball are pushing up too. So no, what is it called, restrict on my Sage Ball means that, hey, we get to just overtake, and we get to sleep everybody. So that was it. That was it. Yeah, DJB would have been able to push up, and Spectre Tenebra just hanging back there with those souls. We would have been able to just blow up the entire team. Alright, for our next match here, going up against this Asia player, yeah, this was a very rare occurrence. My opponent actually first picked Lua. So against Lua, I have 2 things. One, I need to steal Spectre Tenebria, because that's a really good source of souls for them. So that's exactly what I did, snatched her up. And then I just followed up with a Bellion. I didn't want my opponent to get Bellion, because Lua Bellion is a lot of control and stuff to deal with, and I didn't want that. But also, Bellion's good against Lua, because I prevent them from soul burning too. So with that combination, my opponent actually goes LR Crow and then picks the A Tywin. I guess they wanted the A Tywin against my team, but knows that LR Crow is a good counter, kind of doing what I did, right? Picking a unit and picking their direct counter. So LR Crow and A Tywin are getting picked together here. I just go for a DJB because I need immunity up on my team for this A Tywin. And then I follow up with a Shu as well, because Shu's pretty good into the first 3 units, aside from getting stunned by A Tywin. And then my opponent goes for a Alencia and Bihu. Now, Bihu is a really scary unit at times because they're built really fast and they can push up the team and strip and unbuffable and all that stuff. Also carries decent damage with burns. But I have to watch out for that. So I thought my DJB was going to get banned here, because with Bihu as a debuffer, and A Tywin available there with Lua, you know, if DJB's gone, then my opponent has free reign on my team. So I go ahead and last pick the Fire Lilius to act as kind of a cleanser for the team, and also to deter Lua from using her non-attack skill. I had to ban the Alencia in the end, because otherwise Shu would not be able to live, and Shu was a very essential part of this draft. Because she's my main DPS dealer, DPS, damage dealer, right? So Lua gets to go, and 14k health, she's not super tanky, but look at that Bihu speed, right? Just trailing right behind the Lua there, which is very unfortunate. Fortunately though, my Bellion does resist the Lua there, which is quite nice. She does end up popping the S3, so she gets to strip there. But we go ahead and reset everyone with our Lilius, with the Ancient Dragon's Legacy. So that's quite nice. Bihu's going to go for the S3 and push up the team. Going to put that unbuffable on everybody, which is unfortunate. And now Lilius is in a position where she can't cleanse if she gets stunned by the A Tywin. So this guy, my man's here, lets it rip and gets all of the stuns. Now, if a unit wasn't stunned, they were defense broken, or in the case of Lilius, she was stunned and defense broken. So, yeah, LR Crow goes for an S3. Defense breaks don't really matter because LR Crow ignores defense anyway, and Spectre got to do absolutely nothing. However, her souls did end up being a good little resource for my Shu to turn cycle out of her debuff. So we go for the S1, we get a Fwoosh, and we take out the Bihu immediately, which is very nice, because otherwise he would have been able to inflict quite a bit of damage if he was on the burn artifact for Rangers, and he was able to proc the detonate. Go for an S3 on the Shu. Unfortunately, no buffs for everybody because I'm unbuffable on Bellion and the Shu. We get the anti-crit on Lilius, but it's not going to mean much because she's defense broken. So She's going to be an easy target for my opponent to kind of whittle down. I had to go for the S3 on Shu though, because now if my opponent hits anybody else, Shu does have a chance to counter. Lua ends up defense breaking the Bellion as well, so I have two of my units here defense broken. Is looking pretty scary. Lilia's getting provoked and dual attacked, so that was really unlucky because the LR Crown now has a free pot shot at Bellion that he wouldn't otherwise have had, and 3,000 damage a hit is nothing to laugh at too. So he's just going to keep hitting that Bellion here. My Bellion is actually on injury, so kind of hard for me to do any counters if he's not hitting Shu. Shu here has full focus. We're going to take out the A Tywin. He is the biggest threat to my Shu, and I do get to heal quite a bit there with that kill. I decide to just go for an S3, because why not? All of Bellion's skills are AoE, so I'd be helping out the LR Crow regardless. But at least with this S3, I can push back the Lua a little bit. So LR Crow has one turn left until he gets his S3 up, which is quite nice, but Bellion does go down here. Shu gets a very good counter, and we foosh into the LR Crow, and now it is a race against time. So Lua unfortunately has her S2, and we don't have immunity on Shu with another buff. Even if we did, I believe she strips it all. Yeah, so Shu gets put to sleep. Now the good thing is Beguile only procs on other teammates, so this Beguile doesn't really do much. It just kind of prolongs Shu's S3 from being able to be used. So yeah, LR Crow rips the S3, getting that immunity up for the team. And Shu here, no counter, just pushing up with Snow Crystal. Just really hoping he doesn't defense break me here, but he does, and we still have no counter. We're really banking on a counter here, but still no counter. It's 30% chance, by the way, guys. But finally on Lua's hit there, we were able to counter, and we were able to foosh. We were able to heal up just a little bit. But unfortunately here, we are really low on health. I have to go for the S2 to heal, but my opponent was on Holy Sacrifice! Yeah, so LR Cow does not kill because he doesn't have the speed buff, and then we just go for an S1 here, which doesn't kill, and we don't get a foosh. LR Crow has the speed buff, able to chip me down, but we get the counter at the last second. Oh god. Just rewatching this, even though I'm not playing this live, the rush of emotions that I feel right now is incredible. Yeah, this match was a nail-biter, and I was screaming in voice chat while I was doing it. This is a perfect way to end things off. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe for more Epic 7 content. And until next time, take care.